today's Let's Talk Design video, we're discussing front doors. What kind of options do you have? What style could it be? How creative can you get? That's all in today's Let's Talk Design video. Thanks for joining me. So the first area I love to pay attention to is what you see first on a home, the front door, the entryway. And front doors are an area where you can get really creative. There's lots of options, lots of possibilities. There's no rules about your door has to be this way with this style of home. And so it's a fun place to just play around with. And a couple examples are just starting with a very classic, you could go back 1,000 years. What would a front door look like? It's going to be a solid piece of wood. You've got a stone surround, and it's just secure. It's that castle gate that we all, want in our home for security, but we want to break it up and make it inviting, right? We're not going to have a big portcullis coming down, stuff like that, like they did in castles. So let's add a side light. The side light does not have to mean you see through it. We can do this filtered glass like in this photo. The side light's going to bring natural light into the entryway itself, but also allow you to not just have this slab of wood in the front. So some details on that really traditional door, stain it out, make it look beautiful. I think the stone around it just accents it really well, and it has that feel of just timelessness that is in place. Now, it doesn't fit for every home, so then let's still do a wood door. But let's do more of a slightly modern, but it's still craftsman, fits with farmhouse. So you've got that door, you've got the wood look, you add a little bit more detail. So you got that shelf on there, that dental detailing, little arts and crafts going on. You get the glass above. The glass, play with the glass. You could have clear glass, you could have filtered rain glass, you could have a glass with a little bit of a stained glass, etching put into there. And then play with the side lights. We do 2 side lights. We do 1 side light. Is it clear? Can I see through? All of these questions are things that there's no right or wrong answer. It's just what do I like? What fits the space? I believe larger entryways should have side lights. Smaller entryways, you may not have the room for a side light. But having some glass in that door, having that detail on the outside, picking a handle that's very robust and feels great, really allows you to say this is a classic door. And a lot of people love them. When we put a lot of these doors into our homes, then you can go even more modern. You may not be in wood anymore. You may actually go to a painted finish, a much more sleek finish, but you've got more glass. And so you've got the multi-panel look going on. And these doors, I believe, work really well for larger properties where you're not so concerned about privacy. Your neighbors aren't right there. People aren't walking up and down the street in front of your house. You've got some acreage, and also maybe you have a view out the back. So one thing I love about this particular door is you come in and you can see through the door, and you can see through the house, and you can see the view out the back of the house. So immediately it's drawing you into the entire space, and you want to go in and discover what there is to see on the other side of the home, and the windows in the home allow you to see that. So the glass on the door and the side lights all contribute to that feel. And the clear glass, I think, is really important in this particular situation. The other fun thing to do is you've got a larger door. So you go 8 foot high instead of 6'8". You might go a wider door and do a pivot hinge. So all these different options play into decision-making on the door itself, but really pay attention to the details and don't be afraid to get creative and have some fun with your front doors and how it could be, because there really is not a set of the door has to be this way for this style of home. It really is a personal statement and a chance to say, this is our house and this is what we love. So there you have it. That's front doors. Lots of ideas, lots of room to be creative. I'd love to hear your comments on your favorite type of door. What would your ideal front door be? I'm Chris with Williams Contracting. Like and subscribe for more great content on home construction and design. Let's talk design. I'll see you next time.